Today we are talking all things animals. Now we have a lot of info to cover and no time to waste, so let's get to it. 7 Days to Die has a wide variety of animals in the game. These animals are a great source of materials that are vital for survival in 7 Days to Die. Not only do they provide meat that will keep you fed, but they can also provide things like bones, feathers, rotting flesh, and animal fat, which each have a variety of uses. So today we are going to go through all of the animals in 7 Days to Die and their usefulness. Now I've gone ahead and put these animals into separate groups. The first group we're going to talk about is the passive animal group. The first passive animal on our list is the chicken. Chickens can be found pretty much anywhere. I've seen these bad boys running around in every single biome, including the snow biome, although they do tend to be a little bit more prevalent in the desert and the forest. Those are the two biomes that they really seem to show up in the most that I've noticed. However, they can be found in every single biome. Chickens are very squishy. They only have 10 hit points, which means they are very easy to kill once you can get to them. But they are extremely fast. When they get to moving, they can be hard to catch. But once you do catch up to these little guys, they are a great source of meat, feathers, and bones. So from that one little guy, we got 6 bones, 23 feathers, and 10 meat. Not too bad. The next passive animal on our list is the rabbit. Rabbits also have 10 hit points, but these guys are even tougher to catch than the chickens. They are extremely fast and smaller than the chickens. It is extremely difficult to take care of these guys with a melee weapon. You are probably going to have to use a bow or a firearm in order to take down the rabbit. And I will warn you, the cry of the rabbit as it dies is, it's bad. It's just, oh man. I'm not going to actually kill this rabbit so you can hear it. Just take my word for it. The death cry of the rabbit is horrendous. Typically speaking, I try to leave these guys alone because I just don't like that sound. It is so bad. Plus, they're so darn cute. But if you do happen to take one of these guys down, they are a good source of meat, bones, and leather. So as you can see from that unfortunate rabbit, we got 10 meat, 6 bones, and 2 leather. The next passive animal on our list is the doe. Does have 50 hit points and are an excellent source of meat, bones, leather, and animal fat. Again, the doe is a very fast animal and is much easier to take down with a ranged weapon. Unless you get very, very lucky, it is hard to take down a doe with a melee weapon. It's much easier to use a bow or something like the hunting rifle or marksman rifle. Those you can be pretty far away and still get a good shot on the doe. But if you do manage to take down a doe, they are a great source of meat, bones, leather, and animal fat. So as you can see, we got 20 raw meat, 20 bones, 6 leather, and 2 animal fat from that doe. And the last passive animal we need to talk about is the stag, the male deer. This guy has 100 hit points and once again is extremely fast. That's one thing that is pretty much steady throughout all of the passive animals. They are very, very fast, and the moment they sense you, they will run away and run away quickly. So it's much easier to take out a stag from a distance. Use a long-range weapon like a bow or a hunting rifle, something like that, in order to take one of these bad boys down. But if you do manage to take down a stag, they are a great source of meat, leather, bones, and animal fat. As you can see, we received 30 meat, 9 leather, 32 bones, and 3 animal fat. The next group of animals are the aggressive animals. The first aggressive animal is the snake. While I have seen snakes in most biomes, they are very prevalent in the desert and wasteland biomes. There are also certain POIs where snakes will spawn. Snakes only have 10 hit points, which makes them seem a little less dangerous than they actually are. The thing that makes the snake dangerous is the hitbox. Trying to hit one of these bad boys can be a problem sometime. So do not take snakes lightly. If you do manage to take out a snake, they are a great source of meat, bones, and leather. So from that snake, we receive 10 meat, 2 leather, and 5 bones. The next aggressive animal is the coyote. Coyotes spawn exclusively in the desert biome. They have 100 hit points, and these little guys can be rather annoying. If they see you, they will attack you. However, once they get a little bit damaged, they actually run away. So unless you can take these guys out quickly, they will run away, you'll go back to doing what you were doing, and they'll run up behind you and attack you again. So be very, very careful with the coyotes. They can be quite annoying. But if you manage to take down a coyote, they are a great source of meat, bones, leather, and animal fat. That coyote gave us 12 raw meat, 5 leather, 11 bones, and 2 animal fat. The next animal on our list is the wolf. Wolves spawn primarily in the forest biome. They have 200 hit points, and these little guys are no joke. They often hunt in packs, so if you see one, there's more than likely a few more kicking around. Do not take wolves lightly. They can take you down very, very fast. Again, like I said, most of the time they hunt in packs, so you're dealing with more than one wolf at a time. And they can deal damage to you rather quickly. They also have a high tendency to make you bleed, which makes you lose hit points even faster. So do not take the wolf lightly. Be very careful when you come across a wolf. But if you manage to take down a wolf, they are a great source of meat, bones, leather, and animal fat. So that wolf provided us 25 meat, 10 leather, 20 bones, and 3 animal fat. Next up, we have a very dangerous animal indeed, the mountain lion. These big kitties spawn exclusively in the snow biome, and they have a whopping 750 hit points. The mountain lion is an extremely dangerous animal. Be sure that you are well prepared and have what it takes to take the mountain lion down, because if you don't take him down, he will definitely take you down. But if you do happen to take out a mountain lion, they are an excellent source of meat, leather, bones, and animal fat. So that mountain lion yielded 25 raw meat, 10 leather, 20 bones, and 4 animal fat. And the last animal in this group is the bear. Bears are nasty. They hit hard, they're very, very fast, and they have a whopping 1,600 hit points. In the early stages of the game especially, if you see a bear, turn and run the other way. Do not attempt to take on a bear until you are much later in the game. You have some decent weapons and armor, and actually have the ability to take one of these bad boys down. Because they, like I said, they are tough. 1,600 hit points, and they hit very, very hard. Be careful when approaching a bear. But if you do happen to take out a bear, they are an awesome source of meat, bones, leather, animal fat, and also have a very unique resource as well. They give you testosterone. That is a key ingredient in making steroids. So as you can see, that bear yielded 50 meat, 15 leather, 30 bones, 5 animal fat, and 2 testosterone. The next animal on our list is a little bit unique. That's because the boar is both passive and aggressive. Generally speaking, boars will pretty much leave you alone until you attack the boar. The moment you attack the boar and deal damage, it becomes a vicious, aggressive animal. And these guys are no joke, especially early game. It is not uncommon at all to see players being killed by boars. They think they have what it takes to take one down, and they soon find out, oh, nope, they were wrong. Be very careful when trying to take down a boar. Make sure you have the right weapons and armor in order to not only deal enough damage, but if it attacks, make sure you have enough armor to mitigate damage as well, because these bad boys can take you down quick. Unless you absolutely need the resources, I would say leave the boars alone. They are passive animals and they will leave you alone up until the moment you deal a single point of damage to them. Once you damage the boar, they will come after you with a fury. Once again, be very careful with the boar and only attack it if you know you can take it down and need the resources. But if you do manage to take down the boar, they are an excellent source of meat, leather, bones, and animal fat. That boar yielded us 30 meat, 7 leather, 20 bones, and 4 animal fat. Now we're going to take a look at a couple of specialty animals. The first animal we need to talk about is the dire wolf. These big boys are tough. They have 750 hit points. In comparison to the regular wolf, they are much, much bigger. Plus they have the glowing yellow eyes. Until you get a little bit further in the game, I would recommend to steer clear of the dire wolf. These guys are no joke and they will take you down quick. And like the regular wolves, dire wolves usually travel in packs. So if you come across a dire wolf, just know there's probably another dire wolf or some regular wolves close by as well. But if you happen to take out a dire wolf, they are an excellent source of meat, bones, leather, and animal fat. That dire wolf yielded 35 meat, 12 leather, 20 bones, and 3 animal fat. And the last specialty animal we need to talk about is Grace. Grace can only be found in one POI. I believe she's found in the Bob's Boars / Carl's Corn. I think it's one of the House Mansard POIs in the game, if I remember right. But it's the only place that you will find Grace in the game. At the very end of the POI, you will find her down underground, surrounded by a bunch of corpses. And if you take a look at her hit points, you will know why. She has a whopping 2,000 hit points. Grace is a beast. Very easy to recognize as well. She's all glowing green. Take a look at the side. She's all glowing green and gigantic. But like I said, she's only found in one POI in the game. So unless you go looking for Grace, you are not going to have to worry about her out and about in the world. However, if you do enter that POI and get down to that final level underground, be very, very careful when approaching Grace. 2,000 hit points and she hits like a ton of bricks. She can take you down very quickly. But if you happen to take Grace out, she is an awesome source of meat, leather, bones, and animal fat. Look at that, folks. 100 meat, 70 leather, 20 animal fat, and 60 bones. Grace is hands down the best animal in the game for these resources. So while Grace is extremely dangerous, the rewards of taking her down are worth it. And the last group of animals we need to talk about are the zombie animals. The first zombie animal is the zombie vulture. Zombie vultures have 30 hit points, so they're relatively squishy. However, they are extremely annoying. They are super fast and can be extremely hard to hit. Primarily, you'll find these guys in the desert and wasteland biomes, but they can actually spawn pretty much anywhere. And most POIs, a lot of POIs are just full of vultures, especially on the rooftops. It is a lot easier when clearing out a POI to take these guys out before they have the chance to take to the air. Once they get to the air, they are much more agile and very, very difficult to hit. They can be a real pain in the backside for sure. So my advice is, if you come across these guys, you're doing a POI, you're coming to a roof section of the POI, automatically go into sneak mode and be on the lookout for these guys on the ground. They are much easier to take out before they activate. Once they get moving, it becomes much more difficult to take down the zombie vulture. But once you do take down the zombie vulture, they are a great source of rotting flesh, feathers, and bones. That zombie vulture yielded 4 rotting flesh, 30 feathers, and 9 bones. Next up, we have the radiated version of the zombie vulture. So here we have the radiated version, and next to it we have the regular version. You'll notice the radiated version is much, much bigger. The radiated vulture also has 4 times as many hit points, 120 hit points, as opposed to only 30 with the standard vulture version. Another difference between the radiated and the regular vulture, the radiated vulture has the ability to spit. It has a projectile attack as well as its melee attack, similar to the cop zombie. Much like the other radiated versions of zombies, the radiated vulture tends to spawn at the later game stages and on horde nights. Those are generally speaking when you're going to be seeing the radiated vulture. So once you get your game stage up a little bit higher where the radiated starts spawning, you will start coming across radiated zombie vultures. These guys are just as quick, just as agile as the regular vultures, but they hit harder. They have that ability to shoot the spit at you so they can hit you from range, and they are much, much tougher. Be careful when dealing with the radiated version of the zombie vulture. But once you manage to take down the radiated vulture, they are an excellent source of rotting flesh, feathers, and bones. So that radiated vulture yielded 6 rotting flesh, 35 feathers, and 13 bones. Next up on our list is the zombie dog. These little guys have been the bane to my existence forever. Back in my old console days, the zombie dog was probably the only zombie I ever really died to. They are very, very fast, they hit hard, and they usually travel in packs. So if you see one zombie dog, there's usually a whole bunch more around them. The zombie dog has 200 hit points, meaning they are not the easiest thing to take down. And the fact that they usually attack in packs makes them even more dangerous. Be very, very careful when dealing with zombie dogs. But once you manage to take out the zombie dog, they are a great source of rotting flesh, leather, bones, and animal fat. So that one zombie dog yielded us 10 rotting flesh, 20 bones, 4 leather, and 1 animal fat. And the last animal in this group is the zombie bear. These guys are absolutely terrifying. They have a whopping 2,000 hit points, and they hit like a ton of bricks. If you come across a zombie bear, make sure you have what it takes to take it down, and take it down as quickly as possible. Otherwise, it will tear you to pieces in a matter of moments. The zombie bear is easily one of the toughest enemies in the game. They are extremely aggressive and can kill you quickly. Be extremely careful when dealing with zombie bears. But if you manage to take down a zombie bear, they are a great source of rotting flesh, leather, bones, animal fat, and testosterone. So that zombie bear yielded us 50 rotting flesh, 15 leather, 30 bones, 5 animal fat, and 2 testosterone extract. Animals are an extremely important part of 7 Days to Die. They are an excellent source of materials, many of which you need for various recipes and supplies. Many of these animals are passive creatures that will pretty much just run away from you the moment you get too close. However, many of these animals are extremely aggressive and they will attack you on sight. So be very, very careful if you happen upon an aggressive animal. Give them a wide berth unless you are actually trying to take them down. But each and every animal in the game has its usefulness. I hope you folks have found this video helpful and or enjoyable. If you did, join the Sav Nation by clicking that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you do not miss a single one of our tutorial videos. Speaking of which, I've created a very special playlist of tutorial videos with similar subject matter. You can access that playlist by clicking the box in the top right corner of the screen. But for now, this is Saven saying thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me in Saven's World. And remember, the average gamer is always king of the hill on the bell curve.